This is something that I was just surmising because I sort of cross-index a lot of different channels to see what other folks are experiencing over in their neck of the woods, right? So I pay attention from time to time about this guy named Sheriff what's his name, Grady Judd, in Florida, and he, this guy gets around. I'll tell you that. Okay, what a sheriff! And so he was sharing about something that happened recently in Florida, Polk County, about a woman that was arrested for crimes against animal cruelty, and they have an investigative unit. And apparently, this woman had used some neurotoxins to kill apparently some animals, pets in the neighborhood. And so you understand why they do that, right? Jack up the trauma. If you have pets and you have a neighbor, right, a shadow body that's hijacked a vehicle, and so and they see you, that you're happy and joyful, and your children are full of love and joy and having fun, and the woman is observing and thus experiencing what she's scanning and realizing that, hey, there's a few children there and a mother and a father and other brothers and sisters in the neighborhood that love these pets, right? Okay, well, that's not going to be lost on that shadow body, right? And so that shadow body will find some way to be able to, just like in the classroom. You ever seen that old thing like our gang, stick you in the eye, right? Traumatize you on purpose because they don't experience what you experience, and they don't want you experiencing what you're experiencing. Okay, they hate you. They hate you. That's your victimizer software. Okay. So when I was a child growing up, and I was very fortunate that I grew up with other children, we sort of had what was called a benchmark, a measurement. Because, during this time when children are learning through other children, how we sort of measure behavior as burn patterns, sound and light, and what used to be called, and this deals directly with polarity, okay? Polarity dramas, and polarities, cancel out the clocks, cancel out the polarities, experience zero, hey. Hey, I'm experiencing pure absolute love, right? Nothing's happened yet. The eternal eye of peace, the first eye in the center of the first eternal star. And so there was a standard that I remember that I grew up with that I heard through others. And I thought, that makes pretty good sense, you think? Particularly when you are mostly driven with an enormous amount of creative power, right? Creative expression, to play music and write poems and all the rest of it, right? And so this was a real simple benchmark. So, for example, if somebody's driving down the road, for example, out on a country road, just going for a cruise, like a Sunday drive, and here comes a deer or a raccoon or a moose, right? Or even a bird, right? And so it was considered to be standard conduct, like the use of electrons, right? As an electrical appliance. That if you become aware of something in front of you that might not be able to get out of the way because it's not fast enough, right? And in order to avoid what? A four-way intersection, a collision. And so it was felt that you're not going to do that. You're not going to run over that little cat or a bird, or a church mouse, anything that's crossing the road that you might hit. No, I don't want to hit you. I was coming up, for example, through, what was that, Mama? Idaho, on my way to Bozeman, Montana, actually Glacier National Park. And I'm coming up the highway through this river, right? Beautiful country is, by the way, when you come up from the Idaho up towards Missoula. And this could have been at least an 8 or a 12-point buck. I didn't count all the points. Big buck. Just shot right out in front of my Ford Explorer, just out of nowhere. And I'm going, no. I must have missed that buck by inches. So you know how it is when your gut wrenches up and your heart just sank. Whoa, good, you're safe. Nothing happened to you. Whoa, yeah. Because you don't want anything to happen to that animal. Now we're back to what I experience, you experience, everything that yours, what I'm giving love to. So if that buck would have got hit because it shot out of there so fast and I didn't have time to avoid it, okay, then I would experience a trauma in that bug. And that loss I will experience in me. Right? That's called equal. That's what happens when you're zero. Whatever loss in that animal, I'm going to experience that in me. Remember, now I'm back to my childhood. I am what you are. And so I'm measuring the loss and gain. And so this is pretty simple, basic stuff, right? So that was the standard. You know, what would a normal person do? Are they just going to run right over it? Right? So you know what a psychopath is, right? An AI psychopath. Right? Doesn't have any emotions. Doesn't care one way or the other. If it just happens, it happens. So what? Right? I've ran across plenty of people like that. So this is where we get into reaction states, right? We're reacting to the input, right? The input, which is a signal input, right? What we experience in our mirror. Hey, now I'm aware of what's going on right in front of my mirror. So whatever happens is going to be a reaction state to what? The holographic mathematical data, the visual display. What is a visual display? Informing us of what we're experiencing in our mirror. And how we're going to react to that. You know, between negative and positive polarity. So when your clocks are zeroed out, what happens? There's no reaction. That's called gender neutral. Right? So that's the idea. You know, that's what transmutation is. Maintain perfect balance between the poles. Right? Which I call it reboot. Right? Settle it back down again. You know, the eye of peace. You know, the center of that eye, the eye of Ra, is at the center of that first star. Always in a state of peace, breathing in a state of peace. Everything's going to be calm, right? To restore the balance. That's when I was a kid, man. Hey, they're going after your neurons, your central nervous system. The central nervous system of the planet, the central nervous system of the galaxy, the central nervous system of the universe. Nerves, signals, lines of communication. You know, when you get a pain signal, right? I'm not supposed to experience that. That's not what love is. Right? Why am I getting that signal? Yeah, signals. So yeah, antennas, antenna wars. That's what it is. Antenna wars between cells, DNA, units of consciousness, right? So anyway, I thought I'd share that because that's just basic stuff. It's just another way to process it out after I experience stuff because, yeah, it's have a beautiful evening, y'all. Oh, do the final sun in the morning to purify on behalf of the eternal flame of Crystal River, son of Adama. Yeah, I need to go back to writing songs. I love to write songs, lyrics for beautiful songs, songs of Lyra. Yeah. Have a beautiful evening. We love you all. Be good to yourselves.